Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Nuclear Dawn? Well, those of you who've been watching the channel have been they know that I've been playing this quite a bit. And they know that I've also not got around to doing WTF Is. It's a difficult game to do a WTF Is of because demonstrating the entire game is tricky. There's a lot to it. But I'm going to try and do it live. Bill O'Reilly style. Let's make it happen. So this is a Source-based game by a studio called Interwave. And it is a first-person shooter with some RTS elements in that your team is commanded, well, by a commander. Just going to make sure that we have... I don't want voice comm on this at all, so I'm just making sure that this is disabled. That would be bad. Although voice comms is quite important usually in this game. So let's find a server. Now, this is going to be a bit tricky because I'm playing this in a window, which means that shooting things is trickier because I am aiming at a much smaller target. Also, commentating while playing FPS is difficult, to say the least. Alright, this one looks like it's about full. So allow me to demonstrate Nuclear Dawn for you. Nuclear Dawn, as I said, is a first-person shooter with a commander element. Those of you who've played Natural Selection or Savage are probably quite familiar with the style. Oh, great, we're going off the best map as far as I'm concerned. It is... There you go, see Big Ben with a plasma cannon on top of it. What could be better? It's pretty awesome. A map based on, needless to say, London. Loading times are quite high in this game because it is a Source game, and Source games do tend to be plagued by such things. Something to bear in mind. Come on, load up. I'm hoping we don't load into a game that's incredibly one-sided. It might end up being. Let's see. Alright. Okay, so there's a level 60 commanding on the other side, and I can't even see the commander on our side. That's a bit disturbing. Alright. Auto-select our team, and then pick a class. I think we're gonna start off with stealth. I'm gonna run around with this assassin's kit on here. Yes, this team is losing badly, by the way. So to make that absolutely clear. This tends to happen in this game. You load into it, and then the team is just getting absolutely destroyed, and horrible things happen. Alright, here we go. No, this is spectating. It's not actually letting me spawn at all. There we go, I'm spawned. How wonderful. Alright. Okay, so we are currently losing pretty badly. As you can see, those red things, those are enemy power networks, and they are almost up to our base, which means we are about to just be absolutely destroyed. Well, that wasn't very nice, was it? It was like, in this small resolution, I can't tell if that's a bollard or a person. Turns out that was actually a person, but there you go. Yeah, what'll probably happen is we will die fairly soon, and then we will get started on another map, which will let me show you a game from the start. Oh, well, that's very kind of you. I don't really want to play comm at the moment. I'll show them the FPS part of things. I think it makes a bit more sense. Commander is... I mean, it has a fairly interesting element to it. Commander, you play the game from an RTS perspective, and you construct buildings and you order people around. But of course, since those people are real people, they may not necessarily follow your orders. So it can be a little stressful.
Structure is under attack.
But you try and build a network of spawn points and turrets and power networks that is able to support your team winning, and the aim is to destroy the opponent's base. You capture resource points in order to, well, gain resources, which you can then spend. What you will also hear is structure under attack over and over and over again until it makes you want to stab yourself in the eyes. Or ears, that's probably more effective, come to think of it. Now, I'm a stealth, which means I really have no means of destroying these buildings. What I can do is try and sneak up behind them, find out where exactly their spawn points are, and then do damage to them that way. I'll decloak over here, get a little bit of stealth energy back. Ah, surrender vote has been started. Hopefully they'll surrender, but it's fairly rare. League of Legends style, people don't like to surrender in this game. You actually do gain extra experience from continuing to fight, so kind of a, I wouldn't so much say a design flaw, but you can understand why people act the way that they do. Where is the enemy? I'll maybe go steal a secondary resource point over here. That'll at least get me some points here and there. So I'm not seeing any enemy soldiers right now. I'm pretty sure they're just now all pushing on the base, and it's almost time for us to give up. I think probably one of the biggest problems I've got with Nuclear Dawn is the way that games tend to snowball. It is possible with a highly organized team to come back from a really bad position, but most of the time it just kind of drags on. Because once the enemies start to push into your base, there's a big choke point there, and it takes a while to get into the base, so... Oh god, that's a rocket turret. That's me dead. Horribly, horrendously dead. Yeah, you tend to be pushed into a situation where you just end up getting farmed in your base, and most people just end up switching to support and repairing for experience and stuff like that, and that's certainly what I would call a bit of a flaw in the game. Alright, let's break out. I'm going to break out an Exo right here just to show you what he does. Grab the kit. Oh, all our spawn points are disabled, so I can't spawn. That's another problem. Oh god. A vote to demote the commander. I don't think that's going to help too much. Another frustrating part of this game in that, well, our spawns are down. We can't spawn. Nothing works. So you just watch the spectator mode. That's fine. It gives me a chance to sort of talk about the game. So, the weapons in this game, for the most part, are pretty much hit scan, so you're not getting any kind of crazy bullet drop physics or anything like that. You point, you shoot, it dies. There are some exceptions, like, say, the rocket launchers, for instance. They actually have a travel time. Aside from that, it is mostly hit scan weapons. The gunplay is... it's alright. It's nothing really to write home about, honestly, but it is fairly reasonable for what it is. And you can also go stabby-stabby if you so desire. Now, I want to apply to be the commander. Maybe see how that one ends up working out. I don't know, someone else might pick it. I'm going to push forward with a... let's vote towards that. I'm going to push forward with a sniper rifle initially. Going stealth early on in the game allows you to run faster, so you can end up capping points a lot quicker. And usually on this map, there's a big engagement in the middle. Which tends to be quite good, honestly, because you're all fighting over what's called the primary resource point, which you can see on the map there is that big triangle in the center. That primary resource point gives you a ton of points, and it's very, very important to try and grab a hold of that. Whoever holds that point will have the advantage in terms of the game. Alright, let's see where they're coming from. You can also spot targets, which is a useful thing to do. Find out where they're coming from. Let's get into a good position for sniping. Stealth doesn't last for all that long, unfortunately. And it can also be spotted. Lol. Silent sniper rifles are wonderful like that. There is a way to spot stealth, by the way. Assault have a visor, which they can activate, which gives them an easier time at finding stealth at the expense of being not so easy to find everything else. Oh, there's an Exo over there. Not so good. Those are difficult to kill. Not impossible, but difficult. Okay, I think I hit him there. Yep, I got a hit confirmation. Don't know how much damage I did. Wasn't enough to kill him, apparently. Sniping in a window, really difficult. If you hadn't already guessed. Sniping on a big screen, not so difficult. Heads are larger. Always wonderful. There's a bunch of them just coming over there, but I don't have a good position to hit them. Let's try and sneak around the side, get a good position to start shooting at them. The way that the 4 classes work is that really you do need all 4 in order to succeed, but the classes also kind of have subclasses as well. So for stealth, you've got sniper, and you've also got a sort of infiltrator class. Well, that's not very nice, is it? Infiltrator class who's got a pair of knives, so you can backstab and instantly kill somebody, and you've also got a fairly powerful short-range submachine gun. Kind of nice like that. Everyone also has one of these, which is a pistol. It's the Bag 90. Quite effective, but the way that it fires is really odd. I mean, watch this, for instance. It's actually not so bad with the suppressor, but what happens is it fires faster than the sound actually plays, so it does feel a little bit weird and a little bit spammy as well. I think if it was a slower firing weapon, then it wouldn't be so much of a big deal, but they do fire quite fast. Alright. Let's move our way around and see what we can find. Oh, sup. There's a guy right there. Silent sniper rifles, always wonderful. Comedy moments. Silencer in this game is quite important, simply because muzzle flash can reveal your location very, very easily. A silencer will ensure that does not happen. The way that the leveling up system works in terms of the persistence is that you... oh, balls. You unlock perks as you go through, and you can equip 1 perk at any given time. There are class-based perks, and there are sort of generic perks that add on to weapons. I didn't do that very well, did I? Get over here. Oh, I got a hit, but I didn't kill him. Silence is ridiculously effective in this game. I'm not going to demote the commander, I'm not feeling that. You'll find a lot of people just click demote commander without really thinking. See if I can capture this resource point from them. That'll be a little bit handy. You better be quick, because I'm going to die otherwise. There we go. I'm out of here. Peace. The maps are quite large, which is good, and the maps do sort of tend to change in terms of how well they work. Just because of the fact that the commander is building across the map. And the commander constructs things across the map. Where you're fighting really depends on where his stuff is, because you're going to want to try and blow up buildings with siege units. You're going to want to try and use flamethrowers and things like that to try and demolish. I think I'm being shot at, aren't I? It's time to leave. Ow! My face. Thankfully, I can run a little bit faster than these guys. Alright. I'm going to try and get out of the way as quickly as I can. This is looking rather dangerous. Do we actually have primary? We don't. That's wonderful. Most of them are fighting over primary. We're trying to cap behind here. I don't think our commander's really building much by the looks of it. Might have to try and demote him. Thank you for the medkit. Very much appreciated. Alright, cool. We have a different commander now. Ooh, there's a guy over there. I'm trying to fire a sniper rifle like I do in Battlefield, which is never a good idea, because there is no bullet drop in this game. You have to aim directly at the head. It's a straight hit scan weapon. No bullet drop, anything like that. So if you treat it like firing in Battlefield, you are not going to get anywhere. I'm going to change my class just so that I can show you what's going on. Do we have siege yet? Oh, Christ, that's why we're losing. So, this game becomes fairly dependent on the commander not sucking, because you need things like siege kit. If you don't have the siege kit, you have no real way to break enemy buildings easily. The siege kit gives you either a rocket launcher or a railgun, depending on what faction you're playing, either Empire or Consortium. Alright, I'm gonna push forward through the underpass here. I'm playing an exosuit right here. You get 600 health, and you get a big stonking minigun, which is rather enjoyable. Unfortunately, our team doesn't seem to be doing so well. There's a guy over there somewhere. Can't really hit him from this range. You can also perform a lockdown move, which is how it sounds, really. It allows you to lock down. Where is he? I'm sure there was a guy here. It better not be a stealth. If I get stabbed in the back, I will not be happy. Alright, let's continue to push forward and capture resource points. We still don't have primary, and we don't have siege weapons, so I have a feeling we're going to lose this. This dependence on the commander is... I would say that it is a weakness in the game to some degree, because people don't mutiny against commanders fast enough if they realize that things are going wrong. But it does take them a while to realize that things are actually going wrong. So obviously you want a commander that builds siege, but when do you realize that you don't have siege at the appropriate time? Let's see if... Okay, cool, we have siege kit now. I can start blowing up buildings. That's fairly important. We don't have a lot of forward spawns either. So, if you're playing as a team and you've got a really competent commander, I find this game to be really, really satisfying. It's got a lot going for it. There's actually a lot of team play that goes on. It does have built-in voice over IP, as you would expect in any Source game. And squads do tend to communicate. You can order squads around as the commander. So, that's pretty handy. What am I doing? When your team is not working as a team, it is really frustrating. If you're playing a commander and your team just refuses to go where you want them to go and do what you need them to do, then it becomes a fairly abysmal experience. It's to be expected, really. I think anything that has a great dependence on team play is always going to end up that way. Let's try and take this guy out. I don't know if we can. Reload the rocket launcher. And push our way through here. We're going to have to start blowing up buildings because this is getting silly. They already have absolute ton of buildings up. You can see those red towers there, those power relays used to power their structures. I might be able to knock out that one there. If I can knock that one out, then at least we might be able to take down a couple of turrets. At this stage of the game, it does tend to degrade into, hey, let's get as many siege as we can and blow up as many buildings as we can. Playing siege is a fairly boring role, unfortunately. It's like, yeah, you get a big rocket launcher, but don't expect to be able to do an awful lot with it. You can't really kill enemies with it. It's pretty tricky to aim. Alright, let me show you another one of these classes that are available. We don't have anyone playing support. There's actually 7 siege guys at the minute. Barbecue kit's always fun. That gives you a flamethrower and a variety of grenades. Engineer's really good as well. You can fix and, of course, you can demolish buildings with your little drilling tool. You do get shotgun. You get what a lot of people now consider to be a sort of broken item in this game, which is the... what the hell's it called? Yes, the Emp Grenade. It's a pretty dangerous item. Oh god, there's a guy there. I was like, what? Wait a minute, am I just shot by my own team? Oh yes. Because I'm not paying any sodding attention. You can see there, that's my little blowtorch. EMP grenades shut down bases in a wide area. They shut down buildings. They are really, really potent. Very, very dangerous. Almost essential, one might say. Poke my head around the corner and get absolutely destroyed. I'm thinking EMPing their buildings there would be good. Oh, they're also pushing in that direction. Yeah, this is going badly. When your opponent is holding on to the primary resource point, they've got so many resources they can just continue to push forward towards your base, and there's really not a huge amount you can do about it. Buildings they lose don't really matter. Buildings you lose, yeah, they make a hell of a lot of difference. Oh, Christ. Can I get... oh, couldn't get a mine out in time. For the lose. Let's check out the other classes. Assault. You can get a grenade launcher if it's unlocked. You have to unlock that via research that the commander does. So you can get grenade launchers which are effective against, well, lots of things. There's a guy with a flamethrower over there by the looks of it. Oh, they set up a flamethrower turret right next to our turret. Bloody typical. Things are not going well in this game. Not at all. This is really why I've been sort of holding on until now to do a video of this game, because when a game goes in this frustrating manner, it makes you want to just quit entirely. When a game goes well, it's really fun, and you feel like you're part of a genuine team-based experience. It actually reminded me quite a lot of playing PlanetSide back in the day. But, when it doesn't, it's pretty horrible. Right, some grenades over there, out of range of the flamethrower. There we go. I think that's cleaned out quite nicely. And overall, for an indie game, it's quite nicely put together. It has some, what it's called, certainly questionable design decisions going on with it. I think that's really just because they didn't quite realize the effect that some things would have. Like EMP, as I say, is somewhat overpowered. And that's a bit of a problem, certainly. God, I need repairs. I need a supply station. There isn't any of those around here. Oh, for God's sake, with the flamethrowers again. It is still really enjoyable, though, for what it is. I feel that they do need to do some balancing work on it. Without too much of a doubt. There's a lot of work that could be done to it. And it would be nice if there was a way just to avoid the snowball effect. There's sort of a gradual grind down and you get stuck in your base for about 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe surrender votes need to take less people because they always seem to fail. And the fact that only the commander can vote for the surrender, not a fan of that either, because commanders can be very, very stubborn, they want to earn experience, they stick in there regardless of the fact that you're losing horribly. Not a big fan of that. I think maybe that could be changed. There's a laundry list of things with the game that I don't like, but I like the overall feel of the game. I like the fact that it is a very strategic game. It does encourage team play in a pretty major way. Oh, Christ. This is not going well, is it? I think they've just set up a power relay in our sodding base. Yeah, they have. There's a flamethrower turret right there. I'm on fire. This sucks. Not an ideal situation to be in. Let you run back to the supply depot, get healed up. So we can fire a few grenades in the direction of those guys and then instantly get shot in the face. But it's definitely got a lot going for it, I think, as an alternative. I'm not finding, say, Battlefield 3 to be a particularly team-based experience at the moment. It's more of a sort of Zerg, especially on Conquest 64. If you get a team working together in Battlefield, it's quite satisfying. But lack of in-game voice over IP, in the way that you can't just set up a voice over IP on the fly there, you've got to actually go into battle log and do it, which is a complete pain. Oh, it's a freaking rocket turret. It doesn't really work all that well. And this game is set up with team play in mind to the point where it really does need it. And that's what the game depends on for your enjoyment. If you are playing as a team, really enjoyable. If you're not playing as a team, not so enjoyable. If you have a really competent commander, definitely a lot of fun. If you don't have a competent commander, ugh, it's just sodding horrible, I tell you. At that point, you just resort to going back to sniper and trying to shoot as many of them as possible in the head, even though it doesn't really help you in all that much because they just respawn very fast. Not so useful. Whatever the case, it does have a lot going for it. It's got a lot of promise behind it. It's not a particularly expensive game. It's about half the price of a normal title. I think it's about $30, which for a lot of people might be too much for an indie game, but I think it's fairly well polished for what it is. It's got a good theme to it. It's rough around the edges, certainly, but it's got a good heart, and there's, I wouldn't say innovation in it, because really there isn't, and this borrows very heavily from Natural Selection, borrows very heavily from Savage, but there aren't a lot of FPS in this style available at the moment. So you're fairly limited in terms of your choices if this is the kind of thing that you're looking for, and Nuclear Dawn does stuff pretty damn well, as far as I'm concerned. Most of what it does, it does effectively, and that is pleasing. And that's, I think, why I've put quite a lot of time into it. It's certainly worth checking out. I'm going to try and break into the commander's bunker and shoot him. And then the assault guys just discovered where I am. Bollocks. Didn't cloak early enough. Oh well, never mind. It happens. You can kill the commander, by the way. If you get in the command bunker, you can shoot him in the head. Always wonderful. But that is Nuclear Dawn, folks. Currently available on Steam. It's by the company Interwave. It is, as far as I'm concerned, worth the time. It does have a laundry list of issues. They are working on them. There are patches coming out for the game, and they are actively supporting it. So, it's not a bad game at all. It really is worth a try. It's certainly got some unique elements to it, and until Natural Selection 2 comes out, there really isn't an active community that plays a game like this. And I say Natural Selection 2, I think, is still in open... Well, it's not even open alpha, is it? It's closed alpha if you pre-order the game. Alright, folks, my name is TotalBiscuit, and that was a look at Nuclear Dawn. I will be right back with the next game very shortly. Don't go anywhere.